All clinicians on some level treat pain. Whether you're an anesthesiologist, emergency medicine physician, or interventional pain specialist, there's something for everyone to learn at one of our ultrasound courses. Our curriculum covers basic techniques for the beginner and more advanced techniques for the experienced sonographer. We ensure that those who treat pain have the tools required to take care of the most basic problems as well as perform the more advanced procedures. Our courses are open to all clinicians. We offer CME credit. We plan to do courses abroad as well as in the United States in the coming year, and we hope to see you there. For more information, go to painexam.com/events or nrapain.org. Welcome back to the Pain Exam Podcast, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, I guess. We've worked together on a few projects, Greg Alerte. Greg is a financial advisor and has actually been to ASPN. He's coming there this week. We're going to be at Aspen together. He's helping me grow the Pain Exam NRAP brand, and he's basically helping me with industry outreach as well as helping set up some institutional accounts, etc. Greg, welcome back.
Happy to be back. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good, but it looks like you're doing better. You're at the beach.
Yes, I am. We're over at the beach at Atlantic Beach. You know it very well.
Sure. This is where we met. But I think it's nice that you have the beach in the background, because today we're going to talk about passive income as well as investing, which is a pathway to the beach, right? Or I suppose you could go to Aspen and sneak out and hang out on the beach as well. Anyway, so Greg, I have a few questions to get started about passive income. And what would you say are the 3 passive income strategies you might recommend to a physician?
Well, the three passive strategies I'd recommend would probably be, first, I think everyone can get into and probably participates already now in some way, is doing stocks and bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, the traditional securities route. And then there's, of course, real estate, something that I guess is one of the oldest investments in history, right? Is the place that you live or a place that you can rent out. So real estate's key. And last but not least, it's something that I think many physicians do naturally or throughout their career, is maybe have a small business, have their own clinic or their own office. I think a small business is another great strategy, although it takes a lot more personal effort, might be more active sometimes than passive, but it can be built and designed so that it's pretty passive as well.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people are leveraging their personal practices in multiple ways, creative ways even. So what are the drawbacks and, I guess, considerations with each of those pathways?
Well, I would say real estate. Let's start from investing first. So investing, some of the challenges might be you need significant capital to really generate some income, right? If you have $10,000,
I may have $300,000 in loans, so it's something to consider.
Correct. So you may not be able to, have a significant amount of money that's going to generate enough passive income through investing, but it's something that anyone can build. So it's got some benefits. It also has some drawbacks. It's very liquid. You can always access the money very easily. Whereas with, let's say, the second passive strategy I mentioned, which is real estate. In real estate, you might actually need to liquidate that real estate, and it's very challenging to do so. It involves multiple players. You might need a lawyer to do the closing. You're going to need a realtor to sell the property potentially. You might need to evict tenants, or at least notify them that you're looking to liquidate. So there's a lot more challenges with real estate in terms of liquidity. Investing is a lot more liquid, but you really need significant capital up front. Whereas with real estate, you can leverage, right? You can go to a bank and maybe get a 30-year or 20-year mortgage and still get into the game, right? Whereas with, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's kind of interesting because the group, well, physicians well, right? Your dad's a physician and your clients are physicians. But I guess to comment on that, us doctors, we go to med school, there's a track laid out before us. true businessmen, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, they need to create the track, lay the track. There's creativity involved. It's not like there's a sequential order based on year, you graduate, you get your degree and your money, et cetera. This is like more creativity. And some of us doctors, it's not natural for us.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've come of age a bit, I've also, started to diversify my portfolio, and I'm learning more and more about the intricacies and creative ways to invest and fund ventures and grow. But what do you think, aside from, I guess, what I mentioned, would be the barriers for a lot of doctors getting involved with this?
Well, it's just like you said,
you mentioned the capital, right? Anything else?
Yeah, well, like that third strategy of doing a small business, like you said, not all doctors are natural entrepreneurs.
Right.
And they do often have that track laid out, and some prefer to stay within the hospital model and not have a private practice at all.
Well, it could be intimidating, I mean, the idea of dealing with our issues.
So that's one of the, but really a big piece too is control, right?
Yeah.
Being able to let go and let others step in your place or help manage your office. Those are challenging for a lot of doctors. A lot of doctors are used to being the one prescribing the medication directly and working with the patient directly. And it's I see it in my profession too. When you're working with somebody, you really want to be one-on-one with that client, or in the case of a doctor, with that patient. But with any passive strategy, it all involves giving up control to a degree. And I think that might be a big barrier, just really stepping away a little bit eventually.
Got it. Yeah, I kind of understand what you're getting at. So as this podcast is mostly tailored to physicians, and particularly pain docs, I'm curious to know if you think passive investing is universally beneficial, and beyond that, do you personally engage in any type of passive investing or income?
Yes, I think that, yes, 100%. I think that one of the major tenets of investing is diversification. And as a doctor, whether you're practicing on your own or you're working with a medical group or a medical facility, a hospital, the bottom line is, if you're not putting money into other areas and you're just going to your job, whether it be a 9 to 5 or your practice, there's not much flexibility in one of the things that we do and care about the most as financial planners, which is legacy and leaving a legacy for your family. What are you going to do if you only practice medicine and your children are not interested in that? What are you going to do if medicine changes dramatically as a result of legislation, which we've seen in the past, and it get worse? And if that does happen, what is the alternate strategy? What are you going to do? And just to go back to the legacy side, is if you have a real estate property that you've invested in over the years and now either own or come close to owning, maybe in your 50s or 60s, you put some time in and you own that property can be managed by a property manager who's dedicated to that and for a fee, or it could be eventually managed by the children, right? Any children you might have, or any heirs you plan on leaving it to. Even a spouse, if you pass away, you can leave that to your spouse to continue to generate wealth and income for that spouse. Same thing with stocks and bonds. If you're in a position to have sufficient stocks and bonds and securities, you can do the same thing. You can leave that portfolio to a beneficiary, and that can continue to feed that family and develop wealth for that family forever. And you can't do that necessarily with your primary practice, or definitely not if you're just working a 9 to 5, right? So I think having other avenues beyond your either small business, which can be, as a passive income, but just to say it's not, let's just say it's your primary position, or you're working in a hospital. Either way, I think it's so important to have the diversified portfolio of income sources.
I think that makes sense. So you basically help physicians, you guide them on that pathway, more or less. That's how, like, what happens when I graduate training, I'm starting to make a little money and I need to set something up. I'm having a kid. We call a guy like you, and what happens? What's the next step?
Well, it depends on the person, right? What are they most focused on and interested in? Some people are completely turned off buy real estate because they don't want to be a landlord, and maybe they have trust issues, or like we spoke about before, control. They don't want to give up the control of the property, or just they want to be very, which is kind of the opposite of a passive investment, right? So if they're like that, then maybe stocks and bonds might be the better option, where it's something that's they can see on a spreadsheet. They can see by going online. They see the bottom line number. This is how much I had last year, and this is how much I have now, and they feel more comfortable with that, and they feel more comfortable with the liquidity of that. Then on the other side, there are clients or people that I've dealt with, physicians who don't enjoy the idea of stocks and bonds. They think the whole thing is rigged. They don't want to do anything with that. So again, trust and control issues, but they want to go into something that they can touch and hold. And real estate is tangible, right? You can go to that property, you can see it. There's living tenants there, potentially giving you income. So it's really different strokes for different folks. You had asked if I personally do any.
Greg?
So to answer your question, yes, I think it's very important that as a physician, or really anyone, that you diversify and have multiple sources of income. I personally have multiple sources of income. I've got all three. I work on stocks and bonds for myself and for my family, but we also have real estate that we invest in for the long run, and we're looking to expand on that practice now. And of course, small business, my job, just like a physician who has their own office or clinic, is a small business that we're developing. But I hope eventually that it grows enough that we are able to offer clients support in perpetuity. And I obviously can't live into perpetuity, and I don't know if my children will want to inherit the practice. So it's important that I diversify and give my family options, and give my family an opportunity to really consider what they want throughout this legacy, since it's all for them anyway, right? We're all doing this in the end of the day for those that we love. And I think that giving clients that same opportunity is a big part of what we believe in at Premier Heritage, our firm. And it's what guides us in our advice and our recommendations. So definitely diversify, definitely have multiple income streams, and do the one that's right for you.
Right. And find someone that you can work with easily, someone who's easy to talk to. Greg, if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you? Aside from that asking.
Yes, of course. Call our office. You can reach us at 631-385-5347. That's 631-385-5347. Or you can shoot me an email personally, and I'll respond to it. It's great. It's Alerte, GALERT with an E at the end, Alerte at Premier-Heritage, Premier-Heritage.com.
Thanks, Greg. There you go, guys. Greg's been on the podcast before. He has a lot of knowledge about these things, and he can help you out. He'll probably be hanging out with me at Aspen, maybe at the pain exam table, maybe by the pool, who knows. But Greg, thanks for your time. And Aspen.
I look forward to seeing everybody in Aspen, and thank you for listening. And Dave, again, as always, thanks for having me here. And get in the car, come down to the beach, and we'll have some fun.
Sounds like a plan. Take care.
All right. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.